better career opportunities. अच्छा है श्रीलंका को तो अभी मतलब अभी थोड़े साल तक काम हुआ है खड़े क्यों कितने प्लेयर्स ये भी क्यों ना ये कर रहे हैं population क्या बोल रहे हो श्रीलंका इंडिया से population इनको population मारना लिटरेसी ना birth ratio ज़्यादा है population कम ऐसा दिखता है हाँ it is hand model I mean look at आराम से foot model क्या हो गया well sometimes you stand that's क्या पढ़ रहा है हाँ definitely not question ना दो हो गए तीन चार
चार पांच नहीं दो हो गए
एक हाँ ये समर के केस में पूरा बहुत अंतर है
नहीं किया
आपने बताना कि मेरा हुआ है सिलेबस आ गया एसएससी का मतलब हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी सिविक्स फर्स्ट चैप्टर
हाँ तो पावर शेयरिंग हुआ
मैं पावर शेयरिंग
नहीं for me no problem but what is given only I can so that is so me और लोग प्लान करके जो डाला है ओके but for me so I think everywhere it is completed हाँ
हमारा सिविक्स नहीं है आप पूरे मतलब में के टाइम टेबल में यस हां पूरे के टाइम टेबल में सिविक्स का नहीं हिस्ट्री ज्योग्राफी इकोनॉमिक्स
का सेकंड लेसन चालू हो गया इकोनॉमिक्स का सेकंड शुरू हो गया ज्योग्राफी का फर्स्ट लेसन डेवलपमेंट हां रिसोर्स एंड डेवलपमेंट ना दोनों क्या डेवलपमेंट और Development economics personal development है ना फिर अभी मैन्युफैक्चरिंग भी खत्म हो गया तो फिर उसका
हिस्ट्री में भी 2 चैप्टर होते हैं
2 चैप्टर अभी तीसरा चालू है
आप एक चैप्टर ले लो उसके बाद एक चैप्टर ले लो
अच्छा it must be
दो हो
there.
गया और 2 साइमल्टेनियसली और करना है
Let me see that I will Wednesday I will just okay.
मैं हाथ धो कर आ रही हूँ
Wednesday no and having I will be after I will be lecture that the role lecture is cancelled so I will go there and I will discuss. Okay, who is taking what mistake and ask then let them put. Yes. Because today after your class, you know, on the online this thing, doubt solving, no, that I have to explain. So this is how sharing is. So that is why for that child, I don't know whether I attend the class or 1 hour में तो इतना पूरा explain नहीं कर सकते हैं।
एक इस part of it फिजिक्स नहीं और दूसरे क्लास क्या रहेगा इनके पास
चलेगा for me, you know, when I have to enter after completing, you know, that according to that only I can enter. So wait, Wednesday I will talk, and if it is given, then definitely. Huh?
yes
So because June month you are having test, no? So June end only. That doesn't you are yeah. Yes, yes. Next, see, what is this print culture? You see, then बिना थोड़ा टाइम बैठो ये मेरे को वो लोग भी सोचेगा कि इधर क्या हो रहा है what is that print culture? Let us imagine that is if this printed work is not there, what is the condition? Printed work, you are not getting any book, textbook, this thing, that volume also you are not having. You are not having any sample papers, you are not having any printed thing. How you would have learned? Online. See, online में भी कुछ written work read करने पे होता है ना? So for nowadays, the present day, the education system has developed that you need something to refer. Earlier times, children used to hear and they used to remember it and they used to write. Now you cannot imagine that how can we remember all these things? So print made a revolutionary change in every box of life. Education, I have told you. Another thing, anything and everything we needed printed material, something. One is that if you are traveling, you need tickets. Tickets either in that paper form or paperless form. Okay, so all these ways we are in need of something in print form. So print made a revolution in the process of development. We are having so many things in printed form. We have calendars, we have circulars, we have books, we have newspapers, journals, magazines, everything. So, in everyday life, we need something or the other in printed form. Another thing is that printed images also we can see. This printed images means by seeing that we can identify. So that also help in the development of the life of the people. We are reading newspapers, that is also in the printed form. We are getting that the activities which are going to take place or the discussions that have been taken place, all these things in the printed form so that we can refer it. So print help in the first phase of the life. And this print came with the evolution of script. For writing purpose, some script is required. Alphabets you should know. The alphabets into words you should know. So it did not take place all of a sudden. With the evolution or with the period of time, step by step it has been developed. So this print has started evolving in Asian continent. So that is why we can be very much proud of that. Asian continent only the print has developed. We think that the Western world is so much developed world. So in the evolution, this Asian continent showed the way for print development. And this technology have evolved in this order. That is, China was the first country, then Japan, and the third is Korea. These are the three countries where that writing on the print evolved. Now, how this China got that printed books? In China, they developed a technology. That technology that it is rubbing that paper against the inked surface of the wooden blocks. On wooden blocks, that what is that alphabets are made, and that inked surface the paper was rubbed. उसको बोलते हैं wood block printing. So what was it called? Wood block. It's Africa. They had made invented paper. But it wasn't before, it was after. That was after only. Paper was planned.
Wouldn't be pressing because if you are rubbing on an ink surface, it will straight.
It is that rubbing. See what happened. That ink was not like that present day ink. Understood? So that it just press means the alphabet won't be clear so that it can be permanent. If it is just press means that impression will come. But it is a printing method. So it has to be printed. That means imprint has to be developed on that paper. So that is why. Okay. Now your question's answer, that is China invented paper this method also, wood block printing also. Now, you know that we are also taking prints of paper. What is happening? You just, that is Xerox copy when you have to take, you are putting that one and the print of that is coming on the paper which is coming. The impression is coming on that one part of it and then only printed on it. So this evolved after a very, very long time. Means this was the first one. So it has so many deficiencies. The deficiencies have to be corrected. He asked the question that it was to be this it just pressed and then removed. Then how can it remain forever? So prints are there for later record, no? So in order to remove, keep it for a longer period, so it should be perfect. So that is why rubbed against that one. So alphabets are there on the wooden block. On that ink is there, and then we know that the Chinese this thing alphabet, if you are seeing, the largest number of alphabets are. So then just alphabets are there, and then ink is also there will not be the words. We are making for you, that is the question which you have to answer. So question paper separately to be made, no? Okay, textbook is given now. तीसरा number का question लिखो, sorry answer लिखो, फिर 14th question का answer लिखो, ऐसा नहीं बोल सकते हैं ना? So it should be made. That is the third question. If it is 1 mark question, then that one will be the 3 mark question. So we have to arrange it. So the words which have to be printed have to be arranged on that wood block. Then only the word will come. So if I have to write the word pen, the spelling is P-E-N. So I have to make P ka alphabet, E ka alphabet and N ka alphabet. Then only it will come as a word. Otherwise, just okay, all the alphabets are there, then rub along with that, then we will not get it. So it evolved after a long time and developed a technology to remain it for long time. And the paper was porous paper. Pores are there. It is not like that. The paper, which is and very thin paper. And this thin paper, both the sides, this way printing is not possible. One side only printing. Then what they used to do, it was a big paper. In order to make it into a big, into a book, they have to fold and stitch together. Then only it will look like a book. Understood? So first is that wood block, that ink is there and the paper rubbed against that one. As the paper is porous and thin, so it cannot be done on both the sides. And finally, after printing, that paper used to be arranged and stitched together. So this was the method they used. And another thing is that Chinese accordion book. The first book used to be printed in China was the accordion book. What is that accordion book? It was a traditional calendar. Okay. Another thing. So Chinese, the first book was accordion book. Next is that they also use calligraphy. Calligraphy is the stylish writing. So skilled craftsmen used to be appointed for writing. We know that everyone's handwriting may not be same or may not be good. So in order to make it for the future reference, the handwriting should be good. So that is why those who are having that skill in writing, they were called appointed and they were made to write. That is what a skilled craftsman. And they used to write with great accuracy. Accuracy means correctness. अभी देखो तुमने एक आंसर लिख रहे, आंसर लिख के आपने अपना मन से जो वर्ड आता है लिख रहे. सो ऐसा नहीं हो सकता है तुम परफेक्टली जो पॉइंट्स लिखा है उसका वर्ड में विदाउट मिस्टेक इफ यू आर राइटिंग देन ओनली इट कैन बी यूज्ड फॉर रेफरेंस. मैं कुछ भी लिख के गया तो टीचर ने ओके कुछ ये यही मीन किया करके मार्क दिया. But that cannot be used for reference. If it is perfect or it is having accuracy, then only we can use it. Understood? So this skilled craftsmen, they have that accuracy in writing and the beauty of calligraphy. Stylish writing. And one more thing is required. They are just duplicating what? Now, if you are told to copy down this 50 question answers, okay? When you put 50 question answers, you have to copy down. So when you are copying down, what will be there? कुछ तो उसमें शुरुआत का एक वर्ड होएगा, उसमें बीच वाला एक वर्ड होएगा और तो some words you just brought. Many words you might have skipped and the question का आंसर नहीं होगा, दूसरा आंसर होगा क्वेश्चन एक. Because you wanted to tell that you have completed. But what way you have completed, I'm telling you to complete for your study purpose. But you just wanted to show me that you have completed. But that will not work in this thing. Because it should be a duplicate of the work. Means we don't have that press. So that skilled craftsmen were called to write. So it should be a duplicate. So one is that they duplicate it with a remarkable accuracy and the beauty of calligraphy. Nowadays, computers are there to give designs, give this thing, that colors, give everything. So by seeing, we will get very much attraction in that make. But if you are made to handwritten that one, then you should have a stylish handwriting. Then only that attraction, at least something will come. So that is what done by these calligraphers. Okay, got it? Now this one, at that time, why this many books were required? One is that royal, this thing, that administration time, they want so many bureaucrats. Okay, bureaucrats means officers to work. These bureaucrats were appointed on the basis of that examination, civil service examination. Okay, तो civil service examination के लिए books चाहिए पढ़ने के लिए. अभी खाली बैठ के एक दिन जाके एग्जाम नहीं लिख सकते हैं, तो उसके लिए बुक्स चाहिए. तो बुक्स were required in large numbers for preparing for the examination. So this demand in 16th century onwards, the number of candidates who were writing the examination increased. So that many copies were required. Now, by 17th century, as urban culture bloomed in China, the uses of print diversified. The 16th century, the demand for printed material, especially for test, for examination purpose, increased. But by 17th century, another thing. अभी देखो जो cities में आके रहता है, वो लोग के लिए अभी mostly they were the family members of that officers. तो वो लोग के time pass के लिए book पढ़ना पड़ता है. तो that type of books were in demand. Imagine if they have just come from that village to the city, they also need to learn about cookery, how to arrange that house, how to maintain that house. All these things ka book chahiye tha. So that also increased the demand for books. Got it? Now next is that these people, these women, that officers, wives and all, time pass के लिए भी वो write करने लगा. वो जो उसका experience लिखता है और story कुछ idea होता है वो लिखता है. So that also, when they are writing, it has to be printed. Then only somebody else could read. So that is also another way of increasing the number of printed material. So rich women began to read. Many women began to publish their poetry and plays. Then wise or scholar officials published their verse, and courtesans wrote about their life. Courtesans means one who live in court. That means royal palace in that. Then the new reading culture was accompanied by a new technology. अभी ज़्यादा लोगों के लिए बुक चाहिए, printed things का demand increase हो गया. अभी एक new culture developed. Western printing techniques and mechanical presses were imported in the late 19th century as Western powers established their outpost in China. अभी Western countries, a new technology have developed, and these ideas were brought in China in 19th century. Shanghai became that place you have to understand. Shanghai became the hub of the new print culture, catering to the Western style schools. What is that Western style schools? It can be Western schools. Style. That means according to that style we have to. In the globalization lesson we have studied. When the condition change, the lifestyles of the people also change. So that is why here in the school, according to that demand, they have to make different types of printed material. Okay. From hand printing there was now a gradual shift to mechanical printing. What happened? Hand printing to mechanical printing. So you got to know that what all are the stages. We have seen it has started in China. What was that method? Wood block printing. And it was, the paper was porous and thin. So both the sides could not be printed. Then what they did, they used to stitch together. This print on one side, stitch together in this one corner and make a book like, and the famous book was accordion book, Chinese accordion book. Then calligraphers were called to do or to duplicate that printed work, and they do it with a great accuracy and a calligraphic style. Then we have seen the stages of its growth. Royal administration demand more people to work. Bureaucracy was the number of people who require in the service increased. For that, civil service examinations used to be conducted. For their examination purpose, they need printed books for study purpose. So there increased the number of printed books. Afterwards, we can see that there was in 17th century what way that printed works got diverted. Not only for examination purpose, other types of printed materials also started developing. What were the types of that works? Poetry, autobiography, fiction. Okay, so what is that? Anthology. So when this people, even that urban life, when it was developed, there was great demand for printed things. The women of that family or the wives of that officers also began to write. Okay, so it increased the printing. Now, by and by, printing culture also, printing style also changed. From manual printing or hand printing, it developed into mechanical printing by 19th century. And Shanghai developed as a print hub. Then there the style, what is that? Catering to the Western style schools. Now let's go to how this print developed in Japan. The oldest Chinese book printed in 868 is Buddhist Diamond Sutra. You have to remember which was the oldest Japanese book. What was that? Buddhist Diamond Sutra. When it was printed, 868. What was the peculiarity of the Diamond Sutra? It contained 6 sheets of text and a woodcut illustration. What was the peculiarity? Sheets of text material. Woodcut illustration. What is illustration? I mean, sometimes the picture is given to explain about that. One picture is sufficient for 10 pages of description. So that is why woodcut illustration. Because the illustrations are that paintings or that pictures are made on. Pictures were printed on what material? Textiles, playing cards, and paper money. So 3 things. Which are the things? Textile, playing cards, and paper money. In medieval Japan, poets and prose writers were regularly published, and books were cheap and abundant. So regularly they print and publish the material. Because of that, the books were cheap, not so costly, and abundant, large number it is available in the market. Printing of visual material led to interesting publishing practices. Now, you can see a moving image. Imagine you are interested in seeing cartoons. Cartoons में क्या होता है? जो cartoon character is running, sitting, jumping, so many things. No, are you interested in that? What is that? Tom and Jerry.
Yes.
So what fastness that these two characters are going. Okay. So what is that? It is using animation technology. Now, this animation that more than that present it is available or not, I don't know. Earlier that animations were very much lively. Now modern animation, we can understand that it is animation. So what is that? When that picture we are watching, so much that we feel that it is so lively. How the Jerry is running, and that behind that Tom is trying to catch it. Means from that somehow this Jerry is escaping. So what is that? Moving pictures. So in that we are getting that text, what is the, we are also getting that emotions which are on their faces. And third thing is that the movement is there. So all these things on one content is very difficult. Just imagine a person who is sitting on the opposite side of a road and watching that other side, that the people who are working in the kitchen. So much activities will take place, no? In that kitchen, tea making, this thing, taking water, this thing, washing, all those activities are coming. So how can that person show or display? So that way one painting was made in the earlier time. That art form is called ukiyo. Pictures of floating world. What is that? Ukiyo, pictures of the floating world. It was developed by Kitagawa Uttamaru. So, what is that? The paintings which are made and it is allowed to move, that is on a string. So, the person who is seeing that one will feel that this are moving. Really, the characters are moving. So this technology is made during the 18th century. So that is another development. Printing of visual material led to the interesting publishing practices. In the late 18th century, in the flourishing urban circles at Edo, later to be known as Tokyo, illustrated collections of paintings depicted an elegant urban culture. You just imagine you are standing in one side, one corner of that junction, and you are watching that activities that are going on. So many things you are confused that which to be watched. Whether you should watch that movement of vehicles, or you should watch how that people are struggling to cross the road, or you have to think about whether you have to see that the signals how it is moving. So many things are taking place. So that is how the origin of moving pictures. That is floating world. You just while going out, just think about that. How you are sitting in an auto. So your auto is waiting for that traffic signal to open. In between, so many things. That road the vehicles are going, this road the vehicles are going, and your vehicle is waiting. And you are also seeing that number, that the signal, green to come. You are so impatient. I used to be impatient. Why? It is just 3 seconds only. If that vehicle came, then it would have crossed. So we are going in a hurry. Our time is getting late. किसने बनाया ये signal? Means our imagination is going like that today because we have to reach. We never think that okay, 5 minutes early we have to come out. So this kind of floating world has developed in Japan. Illustrated the collection of paintings depicted an elegant urban culture involving artists, courtesans, and a tea house gathering. All these are the topics. Okay, what all things are there? Elegant urban culture involve artisans, courtesans, and a tea house gathering. Imagine nowadays you just while waiting in that auto, imagine just opposite to that road, one that tea stall is there. Tea stall or that idli, that means Tamilian, that one shop which is distributed idli, sambar, vada, dosha, like that. So what is that? There is a huge crowd waiting to get. So there that mess that is going on. एक ने वड़ा सांबर मांगा, एक ने इडली सांबर मांगा, एक मसाला डोसा मांगा, ये. You are watching that. Imagine when you are watching this one, you feel that how much fast these activities are taking place. This is how the print started, the moving print started coming. I mean, a picture or either printed, that means what is that printed work or that alphabets or that word or script is there, then it is not a big problem. But you have to make this whole action to be visible. You are told to draw a painting in the traffic signal. I'm just telling. So what are things you will include? Signal. You will include a traffic. Okay, traffic. Plants. Okay, plants. Sun, road. Okay. See, I am telling you to draw that traffic. That is the topic. So in that sun plants and all have no place in the traffic. You have to come down to the earth, not this thing. So there you have to show the fast movement of this. How many vehicles are waiting for that turn to come? In between, some vendors are coming with the flowers, that lemon or that or the lemon, mirchi and all that one. So some people are even begging also in between. Mangre, khana mangre or paisa mangre. ये सब इसमें involve करने का. So how difficult the task? That traffic में इतना गर्दी भी करने का वो जो every action to be included. So this way, that all the tea ceremonies, this all things means the actions have to be shown. Libraries and bookstores were packed with hand-printed material of various types. Books on women, musical instruments, calculation, tea ceremony, flower arrangement, proper etiquette, cooking, and famous places. All these topics were included. Okay. You can take some time to read from the beginning till this also to be included. Fast. How much time? 7 minutes enough? Okay. That page is also there. Previous page. That is why I gave. Your book, everything is there. So that page, textbook, it is not there. Okay, now you can sit. Some mistake over. It is a book on Buddhist beliefs, practices, and teachings. Dhamma Sutra is the main given book. Yeah.
It's a graphic paper.
Only ink. The ink is not like that earlier, sorry, present ink. They have made extract from that leaves and all mixed that one into ink or made it into that ink. Completed. Okay. Completed or not? Okay, we have learned about that print which was introduced in China, then in Japan. Okay, Korea also so many that works that is based on that Buddhist works developed. But now our topic is that the print comes to Europe. How this print was introduced in Europe? Let us imagine. Okay, in the earlier time, how the people used to move from one part of the world to other part. Okay, ship. Earlier time, that is before the invention of ships, how did the Europeans came to India? Silk Road. Okay. Here also let us take the Silk Road. You have heard about an Italian traveler, Marco Polo. Around 13th century, he came to India, China and all, and returned back to Italy. When he came to China, he came to know about this technology. That is woodblock technology. He thought that, okay, if I take this technology to my homeland, it would be very interesting. I can become famous very fast because again, new idea I am taking. I can be very rich also. He thought about the business. That is, I thought about that. How can I become famous?
Okay, famous means rich.
Rich and famous, this is monetary condition, now rich. Famous means I'll be known to others. Understood? they हम लोग अमिताभ बच्चन के बारे में मालूम है. अमिताभ बच्चन is famous. Mukesh Ambani is rich.
Amitabh Bachchan was rich.
No, in between it was told about his poverty. Very recently I have read one article about that. Abhishek Bachchan was going to marry Krishna Kapoor something. It was almost that the engagement also over, marriage was very nearby. So that time this something family, both the family, because Kapoor is that Karishma belongs to that Kapoor. So that is very rich at that time because they were having that movie houses. That means they were taking so production house. Okay. So this was not that way rich. His father was just novelist, writer, and all. So not that rich. So because of that, this marriage broken. Okay. So I just thought about this one. He was not rich that day. Now that Kapoor family is not that rich compared to that Amitabh Bachchan family. So what is that richness and popularity are different. Every small kids also know about Amitabh Bachchan. Okay. वो सब में है ना, इवन एडवर्टाइजमेंट में है. अभी थोड़ा तबीयत की वजह से घर में बैठा है, उसका बैकबोन ब्रोकन और समथिंग बनना, met with one accident while shooting. So this much aged person, because of that it will take some time. Otherwise, he was active every day. He was there on TV. Okay, my topic is not that. That is, small kids also know Amitabh Bachchan, but Mukesh Ambani is famous, but the small children may not be knowing. They may know sometimes Nita Ambani. Sometimes, okay, it's not sure that. अभी छोटा बच्चे को पूछेगा तो ये हमारा प्राइम मिनिस्टर कौन है, छोटा बच्चे को छोटा आप लोगों को पूछेगा तो ना थोड़ा बोलेगा प्रेसिडेंट कौन हो, अभी तक याद था. Means we are not remembering it because they are not so famous. But we used to remember about Abdul Kalam because he was famous. President का नाम पूछेगा तो ना सब लोग बोलेगा अब्दुल कलाम, उस टाइम का बात में बोल रहे, because he was famous. Understood? So here the famous and rich are different. So he can be both famous and rich by taking this idea there. Now he took with it this idea, the knowledge of preparing that printed things, and it become very popular in European countries. It was the paper or paper print, which was also collected from China, but that was very cheap. The quality of that paper was cheap. So cheaper prints were also made. At the same time, they used to make that things on vellum. Vellum is animal skin, very thin material made from the animal skin. So it lasts long and it is very costly because writing on that to be made with a special ink and with a special pen like stylus they need to write. It's not the stylus and all. So they used to write this on vellum for richer people, royal families, aristocratic people. It was on vellum. But for other people, it was on the cheaper paper. This it was introduced and merchants and students in the university towns bought the cheaper printed material. Now there were some problems with that manuscripts. Book when they are the same, so many copies were in demand. वो जो प्रिंट आया तो बहुत सारे लोग वो पढ़ना चाहते थे. So what they used to do, that booksellers used to appoint a skilled personnel to write it. Earlier, only royal families used to do. Only that kind of people made scribes to write. But now booksellers also used to appoint that scribes. Scribe word, have you heard about it? That normally the word used to be used for journalist, one who write. Okay, so they were appointed for writing. Some booksellers even appoint 50 skilled personnel so that according to the order he can supply the things.
Why writers in the spirit?
Huh?
Why writers
Ah.
when they get prints?
See, this one manuscript में वो जो कॉपी करने का ना, प्रिंट में एक ही मटेरियल आता है ना, उसका कॉपीज निकालने के लिए बहुत सारे लोग लिखता भी है ना. तो प्रिंट का भी पहले हमने पढ़ा ना, वो जो प्रिंट ऐसा प्रिंट नहीं होता है. अभी मेरे को पेन लिखने का तो ना, वो अल्फाबेट मेरे को लिखने का, तो उसमें ये इंक लगा के वो जो रब करने का, इट टेक्स टाइम नो. तो उसको कॉपी बनाने के लिए अभी हैंड प्रिंटिंग करने के लिए बहुत सारे लोग को राइटिंग करना, समझ में आ गया। तो कभी कभी ये वेलम में लिखेगा, वेलम में वैसे नहीं लिखते हैं। वेलम इज वेरी थिन पार्चमेंट ऑफ द स्किन, अंडर स्किन, एनिमल स्किन का जो इंटरनल पार्ट है ना, वो स्किन के ऊपर का, स्किन के अंदर, so it is very costly and the writing also very difficult. So many such skilled personnel were required to write. Production of handwritten manuscript was also organized in many ways to meet the expanded demand. So Mela like that was organized, and that skilled artisans were called for writing. Then scribes or skilled handwriters were no longer solely employed by wealthy or influential patrons, but increasingly by booksellers as well. More than 50 scribes often worked for one bookseller. अभी देखो बुक का पहले ऑर्डर ले लेता था, अभी मेरे पास 100 बुक का ऑर्डर आया तो मेरे को इतना सारा लोगों को बिठा के ये करना पड़ता है, तभी तो बुक होएगा। सो दैट इज व्हाई बुकसेलर्स के अंडर इतना सारा scribes used to work. Got it? Now we are going to see that what are the problems related to manuscripts. The first one is that production of handwritten manuscript could not satisfy the ever increasing demand for books. Imagine one thing, one example. अभी तुम्हारा 10th स्टैंडर्ड का 25 बच्चों को बुला के बिठाया नोटिस लिखने के लिए, ओके? तो उसमें गुड हैंडराइटिंग वाला भी है, बैड हैंडराइटिंग वाला भी है, सम स्लो राइटर भी है, सम ब्यूटीफुल राइटर भी है, सबको बिठा के ये करवा रहे। नाउ those who are fast can complete, but those who are slow cannot complete. So according to the demand, it is not working. Understood? Secondly, that fast writer may miss half the words. You are just asked to copy, so half the words you missed. तो उसका जो बुक आया तो मीनिंगफुल नहीं होता है। हम लोग जब कॉपी करता है, तुम लोग अभी इमेजिन करो तुम एग्जाम में बैठा है, तो एग्जाम में बैठा है तुमने कॉपी करने का, तो जो पीछे बैठता है तो वो इनका कॉपी कर रहे हैं, यू आर नॉट कॉपीइंग, आई एम जस्ट गिविंग एन एग्जाम्पल। तो ये क्या किया, उसका वो जो राइटिंग के लिए ऐसा बैठा तो थोड़ा दिखाई देते थे, तो तुमने वैसे की वैसे उधर जो दिखाई देता है हाफ ए सेंटेंस यू जस्ट कॉपी। उसके बाद वो जो स्ट्रेट बैठने लगा, तुमको कुछ दिखाई नहीं दिया, तो तुमने फिर ऐसा करके देखा तो दूसरा सेंटेंस का ही अर्थ, तो वैसे लिखा, तो कुछ मैच नहीं होता है, आधा मिसिंग है, तो मेन पार्ट उसमें नहीं आया, उसका कॉपी किया तो half of it was there. So this is how when you are copying, if you are not knowing the content fully, you will make a mistake. And at the same time, copying was very expensive. तुमको बिठा के तुमसे कॉपी करवा रहे, तुम अच्छा हैंड राइटिंग में कॉपी करने का, तो ये करवाना तुमको करके देना बहुत मुश्किल है, जो करवा रहे उसके लिए बहुत एक्सपेंसिव भी होता है। Understood? So I made you to do that work with that what is that? That painting, illustration, all the things you have to do. तो पेंटिंग के लिए बहुत ज्यादा टाइम लगता है, वो ओरिजिनल होना चाहिए. So in that case, it will become very expensive. So manuscripts are expensive. Next thing is that time consuming. It will take a long time. I told you, painting भी करने का है, वो जो proper होना चाहिए, डिजाइन होना चाहिए, स्टाइलिश राइटिंग होना चाहिए, तो उसमें बहुत टाइम लगता. Then manuscripts were fragile. Fragile means the paper was not good quality, so it is very weak. Then awkward to handle. I told you in China, they used to fold and stick it. So now बड़ा पेपर लेके जाना बहुत मुश्किल है. Awkward to handle. भी दूसरे ने देखेगा, तुम लोग तो देखा होगा, जो इंजीनियरिंग करने वाला बच्चे, उसके लिए एक ये रहता है, वो उसका वो जो कॉम्पस वो सब डालने के लिए एक रहता है, तो वो कैरी करे कंफर्टेबली, उसको वो जो शोल्डर में और इधर डाल के कंफर्टेबली जा सकता है. So what is that? अगर ये हाथ में पकड़ के जाएगा तो उसके लिए बहुत मुश्किल है सब ऐसा पकड़ने का. तो गाड़ी में कैसे हाथ यूज करके पकड़ेगा? ये हाथ में ये हाथ में दूसरा, तो पीछे का वो जो बैग का आदत उस टाइम नहीं था, तो कहाँ में पकड़ेगा? So I'm just making you to imagine a situation so awkward to handle. Then another thing is that it could not be carried around or read easily. अभी कहीं भी जाएगा तो उधर लेके जाना और पढ़ना बहुत मुश्किल था. If they are carrying, there is nowadays, if you are going to a far off place, you carry a storybook with you. I don't know how many of you are having the habit of reading. I don't know. So what you will do that if it is a book, comfortably you can keep it in your bag. So when you feel to read, you can take it and. But if it is of a big size, how to carry it? पहले awkward था, अभी हैंडल करना मुश्किल है. तुम इमेजिन करो, तुम बस में एक थोड़ा सा जगह मिला, ये उधर बैठ के ये खोल के पढ़ सकते हैं क्या? न्यूज़पेपर पढ़ते हैं? न्यूज़पेपर भी नहीं पढ़ सकता है. वो जो ट्रैवल करने वाला स्टेशन में बैठ के अगर जगह मिला तो पढ़ सकते हैं, क्योंकि आराम से है. तो इधर बस और ट्रेन में इतना गर्दी होता है, बाकी लोगों को बैठने का जगह नहीं होता है, तो ये लोग को पेपर पढ़ने को देगा? No. So this type of problems the manuscripts were having. With a growing demand for books, woodblock printing gradually became more and more popular. अभी मैन्युस्क्रिप्ट से वो लोग को वुडब्लॉक प्रिंटिंग में आ गया, तो it become very popular. By the early 15th century, woodblocks were being widely used in Europe to print textiles, playing cards, and religious pictures with a simple, brief text. अभी एक छोटा थीम को एक्सप्लेन करने का है, तो वो छोटा वो थीम लिखता है, उसका एक्सप्लेनेशन एक पेंटिंग होता है. So that they started doing like that. Small notes or small text with the painting. Okay. So there was clearly a great need for even quicker and cheaper reproduction of text. Now they are not satisfied with the prints which are coming very late. They want quicker availability of the books. Imagine you have started your class from April onwards. Schools, when it is started? It's March में शुरू हो गया. Okay, March. Your after immediately your exam results announced, your classes started. Okay. Now that time you are in need of textbook. So your school 120 students are there and the books available is 5. Is it possible? So then what you will do? So एक school में first lesson शुरू हो गया. Postpone the school, that is the solution according to students. But school वाले को ये नहीं acceptable है. So what is the solution? You will take that textbook of one student who got it, take that lessons Xerox copy. Okay, so that can be made available with the introduction of that Xerox. If Xerox is also not there, as he told, postpone the school. That is the solution. Secondly, the students and the parents will fight. ये तुम लोग क्यों स्कूल चालू किया? बुक नहीं होएगा तो ना थोड़ा लेट करने का था झगड़ा. Means books are very essential. So my topic is that that time when the passage of time or with the passage of time, there was a great demand for cheap and quicker availability of printed materials. This could only be with the invention of new print technology. अभी wood block print से एक copy बना सकता है, but more that is technology, if it is used, more prints can be made. The breakthrough occurred at Strasbourg, Germany, where John Gutenberg developed the first non-printing press in 1430s. Who invented the first non-printing press? John Gutenberg in 1430s at Strasbourg in Germany. You have to remember. Okay. So the technology is also to be studied. So print comes to Europe, you read. So you have to underline that points. What were the problems related to manuscript? Why there was a need for? You have underlined or not? While reading, we also underline. Because this one is coming later also. What are the problems related to manuscripts?
Did Europeans think that printing was like bad?
Printing?
Was bad. It's about that printed books as cheaper characters.
See, what is that? European life is like that first phase. Okay. So printed book when it is available at cheaper quality paper and for their standard, the cheaper ones are bad. This is not that the printed books are bad.
So
Understood?
they think quality is bad.
Quality means when you are going to that shop to buy something. Okay. 3-4 of friends are also there in the shop. Okay. You are having less money in your hands. So that according to that less money, you started seeing the things. So with the money, how much or what I can buy. So your that one friends who are looking for that high quality because they are having money. Huh? So what this they will tell, okay, they come, oh very well, because this means it is on the attitude of it. I am not telling that you always tell of that way. Just I want to give an example. So here that manuscripts which are made on that wood block or that one, it is available on cheaper paper that is of poor quality and low price. So the aristocratic people or the royal family people or richer people find cheaper fare. That is it.
So it started in Italy.
And
Italy.
80.
Italy.
Italy. Gutenberg, Germany, but Marco Polo that wooden this thing, wood block. But here that technology was
Stars.
Strasbourg. Yesterday just was the
Yes.
which one
It's first to that.
was few tablets written. It was online.
No, I was actually at an engagement family.
Have you written yesterday's paper? Yeah. Ours. Yes. If you have completed, you just read that Gutenberg and your printing press, that beginning that paragraph. It's very interesting how they have invented. Sorry, how he invented. Rita? Okay. That additional this things, whatever is given also to be read. Okay. Other than that, see, the problem is that this type of questions needs to come, source-based question. Okay. The Vijay of Korea is among the world's oldest existing books printed with a movable metal tag. So, which place is famous for world's oldest prints? Korea Vijay. Okay. Then it contains the essential features of Zen Buddhism. That is the Buddhism which developed in that Korea, Zen Buddhism. Because in India, that is Zen Buddhism is not there. About 150 monks of India, China, and Korea are mentioned in the book. The book में इंडिया का monks के बारे में, China और Korea. It was printed in late 14th century, but the first volume of the book is unavailable. The second one is available in the National Library of France. Okay, Korea का book है, France का library में available. This work marked an important technical change in the printing concept. That is why it was inscribed on the UNESCO Memory of World Register in 2001. World Heritage का वो तो उसमें UNESCO का इसमें inscribe किए हैं. So this type of notes you have to. Then उसके बारे में 10 years. The material used for expensive writing is vellum. Okay.
The number of security level.
And I said, there are it's bigger than you. Others don't suffer.
Development, money, right? Development or English wala. Fire and ice.
Eyes.
Easy.
And then
Thank you, ma'am.